Hello, everybody, and today we have a stuffed animal party. Look at all these stuffed animals I have in here. I have literally all, here, take a look. Look at all of my stuffed animals I have in here with me. Check that out. Gotta have that cute stuff. But also, I kind of want to have a little bit of a serious conversation with you guys about mental health. Because, I don't know, I'm not even going to try to identify this is kind of like a big thing to everybody, okay? Because I find that, and this is kind of like a gaslighting thing, okay? Because I've found people try to do this sort of thing, and it's really, really messed up. So I'm just going to kind of hold my stuffed animals to try to give me some support here while I talk about this, because I was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder. And just a little bit of a background, it's a form of PTSD. I believe that I have, a subtle version of it. I do believe that. But, this is a self-diagnosis, but this is not a self-diagnosis. When I was young, I was diagnosed with ADD when I was young, and then they were like, she grew out of it, or whatever, and I'm like, not really, I just learn to deal with it, or I'm still definitely 100% ADD, if you can tell just by how distracted I get by certain thoughts when I'm talking. But the thing that really bothers me is because apparently this is something that's been happening on YouTube that I just recently found out about, to do with, and it's also something that's actually happening to me in my real life right now, and it's really, really hurtful and really mean. What it is when people try to tell you that you need to get help because they can tell that you have problems based on one or two things you said or did or etc. And especially coming from people who are not mental health providers. That's really not cool. You can't do that. I'm sorry. And I don't care if you know someone who is a mental health professional. You are not. Okay? So I don't want, if you know someone who is a mental health professional, let me talk to them. Have them make a YouTube channel. Don't be coming up in here being all this person has this and that person has that. I myself, having borderline personality disorder, sometimes I can look at other people and be like, oh, you have symptoms of it. But here's the thing. A symptom is just a symptom. Actually, for diagnosis, you have to have a certain number of symptoms. And as someone who's not a mental health professional, and someone who probably has not gone to therapy, and even if you have, I'm sorry, that doesn't validate you trying to tell other people how to live their lives. You don't know what they've gone through. You don't know their trauma. And when people specifically express to you that they don't want your opinion on the topic and they are going through their own channels, when you continue to berate that person and tell them that you know what's best for them, and you continue to kind of give unsolicited advice, which is basically what it is. And that's really funny that I should say that, because that should tell you who I'm speaking about, because it's seriously upsetting. I have another YouTube channel where I used to talk about religion and some everyday life things, and I would sing songs and stuff. But I never ever and I would talk about my own mental health and my experiences, but I never ever assumed that it was my place to I'll give people tools if they want them and if it speaks to them. But I never at any point would be you have to do this, or tell other people you have to make this person do this, or personally call out anybody in any way, or personally attack anybody in any way. That's disgusting. And I've seen this in other situations, actually, which is funny, a completely different situation where a woman tried to say online that her ex-boyfriend or something had borderline personality disorder. And he retorted by saying, if I actually did have a mental health problem, how do you think that you pointing this out in front of everybody would affect me? Would I hurt myself? Would I, I'm like, that's a very valid thing to say, because that is how I just recently had someone in my life telling me, you're not normal, you need to get help, you're messed up. And I'm like, look, whether or not any of that stuff is true, like, first of all, I know I'm not normal. I know I'm messed up. But really, like, you telling me all these things in the harshest, meanest way and being like, get help. Like, I'm sorry, but there is such a thing as saying something in a passive aggressive way. Come on, like, we've all met those snide people where they're just like, I'm just trying to help. Oh, it's just a joke. Oh, I'm just trying to help you. It's like, okay, well, people have the right to refuse mental health services or any kind of health services. People have the right to refuse help, okay? So by you forcing your help on people, which is like, there isn't a therapist in the world who would even do that. So the fact that you do that is disgusting. I'm sorry, it is. And the fact that people with mental health disorders, people who actually know what it's like to deal with a mental health disorder, seriously, are telling you, stop doing this. And what do? You keep doing it. And not only that, you gaslight those people. So you actually cause them more harm. In your own argument, you actually cause them more emotional harm, because they are telling you, this is which is so funny to me, because you said it in your own words. So I hope, like, if this person knows who they are, they should. You said it in your own words. You said, it's really messed up that someone would say, you should do this so that I feel more comfortable. You want to know a secret? That is the entire concept behind being a nice person. Oh my God. Like, I cannot just believe that somebody said that. Like, I'm sorry that I just screamed at you all, but like, literally, that is how freaking insane I feel, where I'm like, you mean to tell me that you don't think that you should have to change the way you act to make other people feel comfortable? So if I came up and commented on the way that you look, or commented on the way that you do things, or just made any kind of mean comment, and you said, I don't like it when you do that. It makes me feel really uncomfortable and it's not helpful. Can you please not say that? And I'd be like, oh, well, I guess I just have to change everything about myself to blah, 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 blah. It's like, dude, like, even now, can you see how you are aggravating my BPD because you just don't listen? Which is funny, because Trisha, you were mad at Trisha Paytas for making a borderline personality comment, and then you started saying she had borderline personality, which is hilarious to me because I have borderline personality, and her comment was not offensive. It wasn't. She said, I feel like it's nice to be around someone with BPD because you never know what kind of mood they're going to be in. And they could be, and then a different person every time. And I'm like, you know what? I never thought about that way. That actually helped me to hear. And the way that she said it, which is funny to me because you're like, she has borderline personality disorder. I'm like, hey, she might. I don't know. I'm not her therapist. But the way that she said it, it sounds like she actually understands how people with borderline personality might feel, because when she said that, I related to it and I felt helped. And I was like, wow, that's really, like, I didn't see the whole video, but I saw that clip in question, which you totally exploded out of proportion. But like, I'm not saying that, like, everything she does is unproblematic. I'm not saying everything I do is unproblematic. I'm not saying everything you do is unproblematic. I'm just saying that when you speak on a topic and someone affected by that topic speaks to you and says you should probably change this, it's a little problematic, you might want to listen to them. Because when you don't listen to the people you're trying to help, and you call the people that you are trying to help stupid for sharing their opinions or sharing how they want to be helped, that's hurtful and rude. And you're basically forcing yourself, your opinions, your ideas onto them, and saying, I know you better than you know yourself. That's what you're saying in those moments. And once again, I don't care if you know someone who's a mental health professional. Let me talk to that person then. Also, they're not my therapist. They don't have my health history. They don't have my consent to treat me. Like, seriously. And the thing is you can be all up in here like, well, if you don't agree with me, then blah, 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 don't listen to my stuff. But I'm like, okay, but the thing is before you share your opinions on such topics, you really need to preface it with, this is just my opinion. But the thing is when someone else shares their opinion, you try to tell them they're wrong because it doesn't match your own. And that's really messed up. And that's all I really want to say. Like, it's just messed up, okay? And these are amazing, by the way. Stuffed animal mental health party. But like, and my thing is like talking about my mental disorder, and like, I don't want people to talk about my mental health disorder. Like, seriously? Okay. And I don't want people to feel bad for me either or pity me. And you want to know why? Because God is the only person who can pity me. God is the only being in the universe who knows my entire life. God is the only person who has been there through every single second of my life. You do not know my life. Nobody except for me knows my life. That's the end of it. That is the complete end of it. I don't know your life. I only know what you show on YouTube. And so, and before you try to tell me that I didn't do my research, I live my whole life with a mental health disorder. As Petty Page put it, I eat, shit, and breathe mental health disorder. So, like, I know how hard it is. And I know how people talking about things they don't understand can hurt people. Even before I was diagnosed, people would just treat me badly because I was different. How do you think that made me feel? And now that I am diagnosed, people still treat me badly because I'm different and my opinion is different from someone who has no idea what I've been through. I'm not trying to get super angry about it, but I just need to show you the evidence of your actions. So, like, if you really want to help people like me, and you really want to help people with mental health disorders, you need to listen to them and not aggravate them by doing things that they've repeatedly said hurt their feelings, because that is actually how my abuse has started, proliferated, and affected my daily life now. Because throughout my whole life, I have expressed to people, I don't like that. It makes me uncomfortable. And what do? Push me into a corner and keep doing the things they're doing. The only people who ever made me feel like I was a good person were my parents. Because there was never anything that I did where, maybe some things they'd be like, all right, well, it's your choice, but it was always my choice. Whether I want to go to therapy, whether I don't, whether I want to say that I have BPD, whether I don't, whether or not I want to say I have ADD, and whether I don't. And the other thing is I've heard that BPD and ADD are disorders that you can be misdiagnosed with if you have female autism. And, like, my mom has OCD. My brother has depression and anxiety. My dad has depression. I have friends across the world who have depression and problems with like self-harm and really, really serious things where like me just having this mental disorder, literally last night and for the past few days, I've literally been contemplating whether or not I want to live. And to just hear people minimize people with mental health's opinions, I just can't stay silent. I can't pretend that I didn't see it. And I can't pretend like it's okay. And really, honestly, I'm not saying, I really have only said the names of people I support in this video. I've alluded to who I'm talking about otherwise with their unsolicited advice. Wink. So, you have no reason to attack me. Okay. And honestly, if you attack me, that just shows how much you care about those people's mental health. Really, seriously, honestly, 100%. And let me just say something too. When you gaslight people And that is when people share their experiences and opinions and you try to tell them they're not real. So as in when people with mental health issues try to share their experiences and you gaslight them by telling them that their experiences are wrong, you are doing the same exact thing that my abusers did in my life. And you are triggering me, okay? And when you trigger somebody, that may lead to a panic attack, mental breakdown, other triggers being triggered, which can pile up on itself. And before you know it, I'm not saying you would be responsible, because nobody is responsible for someone's killing themselves except for that person. But you would have played a part, okay? You would have been a cog in the machine, is what I'm saying. Like, you can't just bully people, okay? And that's basically what it is that's what gaslighting is when you bully someone and then you make it seem like you didn't. Oh, I wasn't bullying you, I was just trying to help you. Even though the person expressed that they felt hurt. If, and I don't mean to sound stupid, but I feel like a normal person would just apologize, and like my thing is I have a mental health disorder, but I still don't feel like I have a right to speak on other people's mental health because I don't know their lives. That's the bottom line. And I don't know your life, okay? I don't know what you've gone through. And I'm very sorry that you've gone through so much stuff that you feel like you have to speak up on it, just like I do right now, because that hurts me. And I know you must feel hurt and you want to save people and you want to help people, okay? So the first step, I'm just giving you really, really honest advice, okay? And I really want you to take it to heart because I'm trying to help you, okay? I'm trying to help you help your audience. If the person you're trying to help says, please don't help me, then check this out. You not helping them is a form of assistance. You are helping make their life less chaotic and you can help someone by just being a friend and just saying kind words and being kind and gentle, like in forgiving people, and like what Jesus did. He came to try to, I'm going to get all religious-y on you guys, but like he came to try to tell people, physician, heal thyself. Physician, heal thyself. And what need do the well have for a doctor? And that's basically what I'm saying to you is physician, heal thyself. Really, like, you obviously have things you've gone through in your life, and I'm just asking if maybe those opinions that you have are more centered on yourself than other people. That's all I'm saying. Other people have different experiences. You have your own experience, and it's completely valid. It's 100% valid. Everything that you think about your mental health and your own life is completely valid. And the work that you do with your therapists, or the work that you do with people that you know who are therapists who can help you, is super important and super amazing. But we need to understand also that just because someone's a therapist, maybe they're not the right therapist for a certain person or for you. Like, I have visited a few therapists that I liked and didn't like. So, it's more about having a personal connection with someone who cares and someone who is educated in how to care, if that makes sense, than it is someone telling you what to do and you following all the 12 steps. Because really, if you think about it, a lot of people feel depressed. I know I feel depressed because I feel like people just don't care. And when you minimize other people's experiences with mental health, it seems like you don't care about them, okay? And that is what therapists do, is they care and they want to understand. So by you saying, no, you're wrong, it's not like that, it's like this, I've had therapists say, well, do you think this could be it? Not telling me, no, that's not it, it's actually this. Because they realize that part of my interpretation of the story is relevant. That's why I'm not trying to minimize your interpretation of the story. I'm just saying it's your interpretation. It's not another person's. It's your life, not another person's. So we just need to keep that kind of, you know how they say treat everyone else like you want to be treated? I say treat everyone else how they want to be treated, okay? Or a mix of two. If you're treating everyone else how you want to be treated, think about this. Do you want to be treated like yourself, or do you want to be treated like the other person? So let's say, I'm just going to say a random name, Christina Aguilera. Sorry, girl, you're in this video with me. Let's just say Christina walks up to me, or whoever, some pop star, I don't care, put any person you want. Cher, I love Cher. Cher, I love you. But I'm like, just imagine Cher comes up to me and she's saying all this stuff. I'm not saying you're a terrible person, Cher. I love you. I love you. I love you. You're amazing. You would never do this. Cher would never do this to me. But I'm like, imagine if she came up and she was like, well, I like this, and this is my favorite food, and I like this, and I think this, and I deal with my problems like this, and I do this and this, and you should do all of that too. Is she treating me how I want to be treated, or is she treating me how she wants to be treated? So really we need to understand that, like, how you want to be treated isn't relevant to the other person. When that comes to saying certain words in certain people's presence, or doing certain things, or giving people hugs or not, anything. You have to respect people's personal boundaries. I know that is hard. I know that is difficult, but you want to know what's not hard and not difficult is before you try to invade someone else's space or invade someone else's mindset or throw all of your opinions on someone else, ask their permission. Ask if it's okay for you to give your opinion. Ask if it's okay to give somebody a hug. Ask if it's okay to... Some women don't like to be called bitch. Ask if it's okay to call your girlfriends bitch before you do. I've had men say to me that they would rather not have me use that word because it makes them feel uncomfortable. Men, yeah. And that they don't like the use of that word. So, and other words too. It's not always about how you feel. Being a respectful person is about respecting other people's feelings. So when that YouTuber said to you that, and so when you said back to that YouTuber as well that it's absurd that you should have to change to make other people feel comfortable, it's not, okay? It's not. That's called common courtesy. That's called not peeing and pooping in the street just because you feel like it. That's called not flying off the handle and swearing at anyone you want and going off on anyone you want just because you feel like it. I'm sorry, this is a borderline personality disorder person telling you that you can't just do whatever you feel like doing. Like, it's not hard, okay? And like, that's really all I wanted to say. You can't just do whatever you want to whoever you want, however you want, because it works for you. That's why we're all different. That's why we all look different. Because people think different things are attractive. People think different things are good or bad. And we all need, and the thing is we need to respect other people's pursuit of happiness. Sorry, I really gotta go. But I'm like, we need to respect other people's pursuit of happiness. So that means that whatever makes you happy cannot intersect or intercede. Like, it can intersect, but it can't stop someone else's happiness. It can't get in the way of someone else's happiness. And you giving unsolicited advice that is actually really hurtful and that other mental health professionals have told you is hurtful, it's all a difference of opinion, okay? It really is down to opinion. And when it comes to being a nice and considerate person, we have to respect other people's opinions. And when it comes to respecting facts about mental health, we need to respect that there are mental health professionals with different opinions, but that they have worked in this field for a long time. And I don't care who you know who that is, okay? You are not that person. You don't have that personal experience. Okay, you don't have in your own brain all of this information, all of these studies, all of this stuff. You only have what this other person has shown you. I only have the education of therapy from the side of the person getting therapy. I don't have the perspective of therapy from the side of the person giving it, from the side of the therapist, okay? So I've never been a therapist. I may have been to therapy. I may have known therapists, but I have never been a therapist. Like, I'm not trying to make this a race issue, but it's kind of like, or like a gender issue, but it's kind of like being trans or being black or even being like overweight, just being different in any way, unless you have direct experience of what that's like or what that actually entails. You cannot speak on it. You don't know their life. You don't know my life. I don't know your life. So I'm not going to try to tell you that the way that you deal with things is wrong, but I'm also not going to try to say that the way you deal with things is right for someone else. End of story. And now I'm going to throw around some stuffed animals because I know you guys are like, we're here for the stuffed animals. We're here for the stuffed animals. Maybe I'll do another video of me just throwing around stuffed animals. But anyway, peace be with you and the force be with you. And happy holidays, everybody. I hope that you have a happy holiday. I hope that my romantic frog wants to give you all a kiss. Aw, so nice. All right. I hope that kind of sunk in. Sorry, that's kind of a rant, but like, anyway, peace.